Sea serpents, a myth or reality? We're here to talk about creatures of the deep. The first thing we like to talk about is there's a distinction between those creatures found in deep lakes, which are more marine reptilian, and those found in the open waters of their deep oceans. They're usually mammalian due to their undulating motions. We have a few things for you to look at tonight. The first being evidence, physical evidence, of carcasses that have washed ashore in different parts of the world. The first one I'd like to talk about is from 1808 in the Orkney Islands in the UK, and that is nicknamed the Stronsa beast. As we can see here, it has 3 pairs of legs. This would tell us that it's usually or probably amphibian in nature. After this, in 1934, we had 2 different carcasses washed ashore, one off the coast of France near Cherbourg, and is called the Quakerville monster. We can see here that it has a long neck and flippers. The second beast I'd like to talk about is named the Henry Island monster, and that was found near British Columbia, and it is called the Cadborosaurus, or nicknamed Caddy. And along with our physical evidence, we have paleontological evidence. And we have here a creature, it's called the sea monster of Dorset. It is actually an intact plesiosaur. It was discovered in 1823 by Mary Anning, and it currently is on display in the London Museum. Third piece of evidence I'd like to talk about is photographic evidence. That is taken by Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, 1975. We see here what appears to be a flipper. Second photograph, we see the long neck of this type of creature. Now these creatures, these plesiosaurs with the longer necks, I happen to have here what's a very good model of an Elasmosaurus. We see here the longer neck and the flippers, similar to those creatures that have washed ashore in different parts of the earth. So altogether, we have 3 types of evidence. We have our physical evidence, which is in the form of carcasses. 2, we have our osteopathic or paleontological evidence, and we have our photographic evidence. All 3 coming together to tell us, is this a myth or is this reality? How can these creatures still be around? Well, there's a fish called a coelacanth that was discovered December 22nd, 1938 off the coast of South Africa. And there we have evidence that such creatures can still exist. Discovered 1940 at Latrone, France, the serpent-like creature is part of a cave painting over 9 feet in length. Similar creatures have been portrayed in the legend of Gilgamesh and found on the Ishtar Gate of Babylon. This ancient Hindu sea monster shares a similar description to the Moa Moa of Australia's Great Barrier Reef. It seems both Rome and Greece had their share of serpents portrayed on their art. Described both in the 15th and 16th centuries, Scandinavian accounts of mariners encountering giant sea worms or dragons is well established in their chronicles. This legendary kraken has its basis in the natural history of Norway, as authored by Eric, Bishop of Bergen. This votive painting recounts a crew's vow to St. Thomas. This stylized sketch of a sea serpent was indicative of a myriad number of sightings as witnessed in the New England harbors for a 10-year period. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, creatures of legend and myth were starting to materialize by being washed up on beaches, evidenced here by 2 documented accounts, one at St. Augustine, Florida, 1896, and Bayonne-on-Sea, Natal, 1924. In addition, scar tissue on whales of sucker marks is reported 26 inches in diameter. In more recent times, photographic evidence has surfaced, as shown here from Colonel Wilson's April 1934 picture. In the same vicinity, underwater photography taken by the Department of Electrical Engineering, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Her Majesty's ship, Daedalus, October 11th. Sir, in reply to your letter of this day's date requiring information as to the truth of a statement published in the Times newspaper of a sea serpent of extraordinary dimensions having been seen from Her Majesty's ship, Daedalus, under my command, on her passage from the East Indies, I have the honor to acquaint you for the information of my Lords Commissioners of the Admiralty at 5 o'clock p.m. on the 6th of August last in latitude 24 degrees 44 minutes south, longitude 9 degrees 22 minutes east, the weather dark and cloudy, wind fresh from the northwest, with a long ocean swell from the southwest, the ship on port tack heading northeast by north. Something very unusual seen by Mr. Saratos, midshipman, rapidly approaching the ship from before the beam. The circumstance was immediately reported by him to the effect of the watch. On the morning of 31st December 1848, in latitude 41 degrees 13 minutes north, longitude 12 degrees 31 minutes west, being nearly due west of Oporto, I saw a long black creature with a sharp head moving slowly. I should think about 2 knots through the water in the northwesterly direction, there being a fresh breeze at the time. Imogene from Alago Bay towards London, Sunday, 30th March, 1856, latitude 29 degrees, 11 minutes north, longitude 34 degrees, 36 minutes west, barometer 30.50, calm and clear, 4 vessels visible to southward and westward. About 5 minutes past 11 a.m., the helmsman drew our attention to something moving through the water and causing a strong ripple about 400 yards distance from our starboard quarter. In a few moments it began more distinct, presenting the appearance represented and showing an apparent length of about 40 feet. The undulations of the water extending on each side to a considerable distance in its wake. With the world being 2/3 ocean, I hope this has sparked your interest. Leave it up to you. Do they exist, fact or fiction?